I would like to present a new narrative that has been developed recently in Metacomputics labs. The narrative is about making sense of the world we live in, such as creation, existence, reality, time, space, entity, fundamental building block of the universe, laws of nature. And it is also about making sense of ourselves, such as consciousness, mind, identity, language, experience, perception, thought, feeling, emotion, sensation, and action. I hope this narrative offers a new perspective and clarity on these important concepts and phenomena that have perplexed us humans for millennia. Throughout the history of human civilization, driven by our never-ending curiosity, many ideas have been proposed to explain the world we live in. Observation of the world gives us conceptual metaphors that are often used to propose theories and models. At the beginning of the 20th century, we had a good understanding of the solar system, based on which a planetary system-like atomic structure model was proposed. This laid the foundation for modern physics and chemistry. Since the second half of the 20th century, inspired by the development of computation and telecommunication technologies, the simulation hypothesis was proposed. The idea that we could be living in a virtual reality has been spreading predominantly through popular culture, such as the movie The Matrix. Google search for simulation hypothesis now returns more than 45 million hits. The hypothesis that the universe is the output of a simulated reality exercise has been taken seriously by an increasing number of computer scientists, physicists, and philosophers. The hypothesis was first proposed by German computer pioneer Konrad Zuse, who also built the first programmable computer in the 1940s. John Wheeler is a renowned American theoretical physicist who worked with Niels Bohr in explaining the basic principles behind nuclear fission. Edward Fredkin is a distinguished American computer scientist who coined the terms digital physics and digital philosophy. Suppose the universe is a computer simulation. The following questions remain to be answered. Where is the computer? Where does it come from? What is it made of? How is it built? What are its properties? And who is the programmer? Metacomputics is the systematic study of the origin, fundamental structure, composition, nature, properties, dynamics, and applications of the Metacomputation System that constructs and operates the universes as its processing output. The Metacomputation System is derived from a three-tier hierarchy metaphysics model based on the following premise. There exists source mind. Source mind is the potential power to conceive, to perceive, and to be self-aware. Source mind is one aspect of life. Other imaginable aspects of life, such as unconditional love, joy, beauty, benevolence, as well as its unimaginable aspects, are beyond the scope of this model. Source mind is formless, dimensionless, infinite, boundless, non-dual, nothing, non-destructible. The content of source mind has a three-tier hierarchy structure: unity, duality, trinity. This will be discussed in the following slides. The most fundamental creation that source mind conceives is Unity Screen. Unity Screen is created so that source mind can express itself in form. By projecting itself onto Unity Screen, source mind makes itself perceivable. Unity Screen is of the size of 1 unit. It contains 1 pixel of the projected power of source mind. The nature of existence at unity tier can be described as 1. Uniform, even, equal, neutral, stable, non-changing, constant, still, singular, total. At the duality tier, unity screen of 1 pixel is then split up into 2 symbols, A and B. Each of these symbols contain 2 pixels and 2 voids. As unity screen defines the limited scope of perception of source mind, the 2 separate symbols A and B can no longer be perceived at the same time. Thus, the 2 symbols are to emerge in unity screen in temporal sequence, one after the other. The alternating appearance of symbols A and B can be imagined to be brought about by a looped progression of the interconnected symbols A and B from right to left. From this point of view, when the interconnected symbols A and B moves across unity screen, each cell within unity screen switches from one state, pixel or void, to the opposite state. At the first half-clock cycle, symbol A switches to symbol B. At the second half-clock cycle, symbol B switches to symbol A. Present moment, PM, is defined as the temporal duration for one switching cycle to complete. At the duality tier, PM equals 1 unit. Clock speed equals 1 cycle per unit. Thus, an absolute clock is perceived from the perspective of unity screen with its 4 cells alternating between the 2 opposite states. The nature of existence at duality tier can be described as changing, moving, dynamic, and rhythmic. In figure on the left, unity screen of 1 pixel is divided into 4 pixels in 4 cells. Each pixel can be further divided into 4 pixels in 4 cells. Present moment is represented by the shaded cells in the center of figure on the right, where unity screen is divided 6 times. Suppose the number of times unity screen is divided equals n, then present moment equals 2 to the minus n minus 1 unit. Clock speed equals 2 to the n minus 1 cycles per unit. Number of cells equals 4 to the n. As each cell can be used to store binary data by assigning a pixel as 1 and a void as 0, thus, memory of the grid equals 4 to the n bits. It should be noted that the cells in the present moment are operating switches. Thus, in the present moment, number of operating switches equals 2 to the n plus 1. The availability of a sufficient number of switches and memory derived from the grid in figure on the right enables the creation of the Metacomputation System. The Metacomputation System consists of the following 3 faculties. Data. Specific configurations of pixels, 1s, and voids, 0s, in binary opposites derivable from the MS grid. Program. Sequences of codes in binary opposites derivable from the MS grid that instruct the processor to process data and output results. Processor. Purposefully configured set of pixel void switches derivable from the present moment in the MS grid that enables arithmetic and logic operations and memory functions. It accepts data, performs instructed computations and output results. A clock is used to regulate the speed of computation. The Metacomputation System is created, sustained, and powered by source mind. This slide illustrates the proposed mechanism of creation, in which the MS is derived from a three-tier hierarchy conceived by Source Mind. In the figure, each subsequent tier is a derivative of the previous substrate tier. Existence increases its complexity when the derivative tier is conceived. The derived MS consists of three faculties: data, program, and processor. These three faculties interact to construct the processed existence, including time, space, and all its content. This is modelled from our daily observation in this digital age. For example, a DVD disc contains data, but only when it is put into an operating computer and processed with programs can the image and sound then be perceived. According to this model, all our perceptions and experiences are processing outputs of the Metacomputation System. This will be discussed in more details in the next part of presentation.